The Pan Ohio Hope Ride has impacted my life in so many different ways. When I started the bike ride, I thought, oh my gosh, what a challenge. Am I going to actually be able to do this? And this is one way that I was able to get my husband's fraternity brothers all together. And I think this is the only time that they all get together, and there's about 10 of them, roughly. And it was just, it's just everybody is there, and it's just a huge family, and I don't know if I could live without this ride anymore.
Cycling has been very instrumental in my success with cancer. When I originated the ride a couple of years ago, I struggled previously not understanding how important the exercise would be to my recovery. This year I found, the following year, the past year, I found that I had better success with the training and the exercise, even to the point that I had just recently, within the week, recovered from treatment and then took on the ride in July. So it's been great in helping me recover, strengthening me, and even my energy throughout this disease and treatment.
I'm Dave Plachta from Rocky River, and this is my first year riding.
I'm Marilyn Plachta from Rocky River, and this will be my first year volunteering for the ride.
Well, during this treatment process, my exercise cycle is greatly affected. The first week after chemo, I am knocked down quite a bit. The drugs are fairly overwhelming. Takes me a couple of days before I can go back to work even. Then I bike to work. That was my spark to get into this whole Pan Ohio ride. I love biking to work.
And you bike to work for years.
Yeah,
years
and I bike all winter even. It gives me the energy, the solitude, the peace, and I feel the energy rejuvenating. The second week I am stronger, no doubt about it. But by the third week, my goal is to spend all my energy, because I know I'm going to get knocked back down the following Monday when I have my the next cancer treatment. That ride, I push myself the third week, and we have a team.
Training rides. You do a lot of training rides. Every
Friday, and we get together, and then we meet up socially afterwards with the wives, and we have dinner together, and it's been great. These guys push me on this team.
I was a cyclist before I attempted the Pan Ohio, last year being my first year, 2011. I'd been riding for about 5 years before that. Most of my riding before was shorter distances, and if it were longer rides, I'd done several centuries, 100-mile rides prior to that, but nothing that was on the scope of 320 or 330 or 350 miles over the course of 4 days. That would have been a hard week of training in the past. The interesting thing about riding a bike is anybody can do it. I knew that it would. I could do it if they could do it, and if anything, it inspired me to try harder and go faster.
Initially, my friend Andy called me up and said, would you like to go for a bike ride, or would you like to donate to the American Cancer Society bike ride from Cleveland to Cincinnati? Initially, I thought he meant to ride a motorcycle on a charity ride, and I said, sure, I can do that. And as further we talked, the more then he told me that we were actually going to ride a bicycle. It became very apparent that Andy was doing something really different in driving a team, building a group of people with a common goal and effort in mind. He might call himself the Spam King, but I think it's extraordinary that he's been able to keep the excitement and grow that as a group so phenomenally over the last couple of years. I think I give him kudos for that. It's a great thing.
It was a confluence of events and people that inspired me to ride the ride. I was actually on the fence about whether or not I could commit to it, and being the time and the effort it took to train and get ready, and fundraising and everything. And I was actually at a funeral service, and I was wondering what I was going to do about the Pan Ohio Hope Ride, and as the funeral was about to start, I was opening the hymnal in St. Ambrose Church for a friend's mother who had passed away, and the hymnal opened up to number 515, and the title of the song was Go Make a Difference. And I thought that was some divine intervention telling me I had to get on my bike and ride from Cleveland to Cincinnati. Candace and I are riding Pan Ohio Hope Ride for the first time this year. We've ridden the MS ride and some recreational rides in the past, but any time you can spend with your children is very valuable. She was away for 4 years, and came back from college from California, and so I really enjoy spending time with her and to share this experience and do something positive for other people in need, and help other individuals and families. I think it's going to be a very unique experience and something that we'll remember forever, and I'm really, really looking forward to it.
I'm writing for three people. I'm writing for my mother, who passed away from cancer at 56, my father, who passed away at 76 from another cancer, and my youngest sister, Janelle, who passed away at only age 40, and yet a third type of cancer. And then 3 months after Janelle passed away, I was diagnosed with a fourth type of cancer. And I'm writing in memory of all three of my relatives.
The idea for the Pan Ohio Hope Ride actually came to me out of frustration. I've been a long-time volunteer for the American Cancer Society and very heavily involved with our Hope Lodges. And we have 2 in Ohio, and I was frustrated that people didn't seem to know about them. So one night, in the middle of the night, I came up with this idea that we needed to do something big. And I was familiar with a ride in Boston that was raising a lot of money for one hospital, and I thought, we could do this in Ohio and ride from one Hope Lodge to another, from Cleveland to Cincinnati. And I also knew how many colleges we had in Ohio and how many great college towns. So I just came up with this idea that we could do this and spend the overnights on college campuses and do it over a 4-day period.
I was so impressed at Kathleen's passion for launching this bike ride and working with Dennis Hoffer to get it off the ground that I could do nothing but go out and buy a bicycle. And I had never really owned a bicycle in my life. But I bought a bike, I asked people like Dennis Hoffer some advice on cycling, and I did training. And this was the first year of the Pan Ohio in '07. And I really wasn't sure how far I could ride my bicycle because I still take cancer treatments. My cancer is incurable. But I thought, I'm going to give it my best shot. And I was very fortunate to ride all 4 days in the first year, '07, and then every year following that up till last year, and I'm training right now to ride in this '12 ride. The other compelling reason besides Kathleen that I wanted to ride in the Pan Ohio Hope Ride was the American Cancer Society. I'm alive today because of research the American Cancer Society funded a couple decades ago. That researcher won a Nobel Prize for his research, and a drug company picked up his research, developed an experimental drug, and that experimental drug saved my life when I was about to die in 2002. I was advised that I should start shopping for a hospice, that there was no more treatments left for my incurable blood cancer. And we found out about this clinical trial, and the clinical trial drug saved my life after just 2 weeks and has given me 10 more years of life. And the amazing part of this story is that the American Cancer Society researcher did the fundamental research that the drug company then took, developed this drug, which saved my life. And that meant so much to me that the American Cancer Society was doing that I thought, well, I want to do something to give back to the American Cancer Society. And by fundraising for this event, I'm able to raise awareness to Hope Lodges and to get more patients access to leading treatments like the one that saved my life by having them stay in Hope Lodges for free. It's a great combination of so many things I believe passionately in, but I just have to do it.
Well, I came up with this crazy idea in 2005, and that's after we had spent our time in Boston. And the crazy thing about it is I didn't even own a bicycle. And so for me to dream up a bike event was pretty wild, but we launched it in 2007. But fortunately for me, since I was not a cyclist came into my life by the name of Dennis Hoffer, who has co-chaired this event with me for the last 6 years. And Dennis is a cyclist, and Dennis had come to the American Cancer Society because he wanted to do something about cancer. His son-in-law had been fighting it, and during the course of his conversation at the ACS office in Columbus, it came out that he was a cyclist. And I just happened to be in the building that day, and we met, and I said, boy, have I got an event for you. And the rest is history.